3 verses that changed his life forever. Surah Al-Kawthar, miracle. What if one night your entire life could change with just a few words from Allah? Ahmed sat alone in his apartment, the city lights flickering outside, but his heart was heavier than the darkness that surrounded him. Failures, debts, heartbreaks. Every corner of his life seemed cursed. Sleep eluded him, and even the Quran he had once loved felt distant, until a soft voice in his dream whispered, "Recite Surah Al-Kawthar." He woke up trembling, unsure if it was a dream or a warning. That night would mark the beginning of a transformation he could never have imagined, a journey where joy, mercy, and unimaginable blessings flowed from a surah only 3 verses long, yet more powerful than 1,000 lifetimes of struggle. Stay till the end, because what Ahmed discovered could change your life too forever. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because every week we bring real-life stories that connect hearts to Allah, inspire your faith, and reveal the hidden miracles of the Quran. Don't miss it. Ahmed had always considered himself practical, even slightly skeptical. In the heart of the bustling city, amidst the honking cars and neon lights, he appeared to the world as successful, a high-paying job, a stylish apartment, friends who envied him. But inside, the silence was deafening. The echoes of mistakes, lost opportunities, and regrets gnawed at him. Nights were the hardest. The apartment felt emptier when the city slept. And in those hours, Ahmed often asked himself questions that had no easy answers. Why me? Why is my life filled with struggle despite my efforts? Where's Allah in all of this? It was on one of these sleepless nights, after another string of failures at work and a falling out with a close friend, that Ahmed felt it, an odd chill creeping through his room. He sat up, staring at the dim glow of his laptop, a strange heaviness pressing against his chest. The shadows in the corners of his apartment seemed to move slightly, as if whispering things he did not want to hear. He tried to shake it off, telling himself he was imagining things. But the feeling lingered. Then came the dream. Or perhaps it was a vision. Ahmed could not tell the difference. He found himself standing in a vast, quiet desert under a night sky so dark it seemed endless. And yet, in the center of the desert, a small, brilliant light shone. From it a soft voice spoke, "Recite Surah Al-Kawthar." Ahmed awoke with a start, drenched in sweat, the whisper echoing in his ears. He reached for his Quran, dusty from neglect, and opened it almost randomly. His eyes fell on Surah Al-Kawthar, 3 short verses, yet somehow they felt heavier than mountains. He read them aloud, his voice shaking, feeling a strange warmth spread through his chest. "Indeed, we have granted you Al-Kawthar. So pray to your Lord and sacrifice. Indeed, your enemy is the one cut off." The words seemed simple, but Ahmed felt something stir inside him, a light in the darkness that had surrounded him for so long. That night, he prayed earnestly for the first time in years, and when sleep finally came, it was deep, peaceful, and untroubled. The next morning, life still looked the same on the surface, but Ahmed noticed subtle shifts. Small blessings began to appear. His coffee arrived just the way he liked it. A bus he feared missing came early. A forgotten note with kind word from a colleague slipped into his bag. At first, he dismissed it as coincidence. But the dreams continued, strange, sometimes terrifying, sometimes comforting, always nudging him toward the surah, repeating the message in his heart. Your enemy is cut off. Keep praying. One night, Ahmed dreamed again, but this time it was different. He was walking down a narrow, dark alley when shadows loomed, whispering accusations. You are worthless. You are alone. You are doomed. Panic surged through him. He tried to run, but the shadows twisted, blocking every exit. And then, instinctively, he began reciting Surah Al-Kawthar aloud. His voice was firm now, unwavering. As he spoke the 3rd verse, the shadows recoiled, screaming silently, then vanished. Ahmed awoke, heart pounding, realizing the dream had felt terrifyingly real. He began researching. Scholars, hadith, and articles all spoke of the immense blessings of Surah Al-Kawthar. It was the shortest chapter in the Quran, yet it promised abundance, mercy, and protection against enemies, both visible and hidden. It reminded him that even in despair, Allah could grant the ultimate abundance. Al-Kawthar, whether it was spiritual, emotional, or material. In the following days, Ahmed decided to act. He woke earlier, prayed longer, and made small sacrifices to help those around him. He gave to the needy, even anonymously. He mended friendships that had frayed over trivial disputes. Slowly, he began noticing changes. Debts were easier to manage, relationships improved, and a serenity he had never known settled into his heart. Yet, the spiritual journey was not without its trials. One night, Ahmed had a vivid nightmare where he saw his past sins materialize as twisted figures, circling him in a dark room. They hissed, laughed, and pointed at him with accusatory fingers. Fear rooted him to the spot. He remembered the surah and, trembling, recited it aloud. Instantly, the figures recoiled, their snarls fading into silence. His heart, once heavy with fear, now pulsed with courage. He understood that Surah Al-Kawthar was not just about worldly blessings. It was a shield, a defense against the unseen, a reminder that Allah's mercy eclipsed all terror. Days turned into weeks, and Ahmed's life began to blossom in ways he had never expected. The smallest acts of faith multiplied into unimaginable blessings. He felt gratitude in ways he could not have imagined before. When a long-lost friend reached out, Ahmed didn't hesitate to forgive. When a colleague attempted deceit, Ahmed remained calm, trusting in Allah's justice. He realized that Surah Al-Kawthar had taught him not just to seek abundance, but to embody patience, gratitude, and unwavering faith. One evening, Ahmed attended a local Quran study group. As the teacher spoke about Surah Al-Kawthar, she mentioned a story of a companion who had been abandoned, impoverished, and mocked. Yet reciting this surah turned his life around. His enemies cut off, his blessings multiplied, and his heart at peace. Ahmed felt a chill run down his spine. He knew he was living a modern version of this miracle. The surah was not just a chapter. It was a lifeline as potent today as it had been 1,400 years ago. But the story took another turn. One night, Ahmed received a threatening message from someone he had trusted, a reminder of the darkness that still lingered in the world. Fear clawed at him. That night, he could barely sleep. The shadows returned, this time in the form of dreams where whispers tried to convince him of despair, hopelessness, and anger. He remembered the surah, and with a deep breath, he recited it once, twice, and then thrice. The whispers faltered, then vanished. For the first time, he realized that true power was not in running from enemies, visible or invisible, but in surrendering to Allah, trusting in his promise of Al-Kawthar. Weeks passed, and Ahmed began documenting his journey. He wanted others to understand that miracles are not always loud or grand. They can be small, quiet, and deeply personal. The surah had healed him, protected him, and restored his faith. And one evening, as he prayed, tears streaming down his face, Ahmed felt a warmth that surpassed understanding. He whispered, Al-Kawthar, truly, you have granted me abundance beyond measure. It was then that Ahmed realized the final lesson of Surah Al-Kawthar. Abundance is not only wealth, not only success. It is peace, forgiveness, love, and closeness to Allah. It is the removal of fear, the cutting off of enemies' plots, the filling of the heart with contentment. It is the ultimate reward for those who turn sincerely to Allah, even when life seems darkest. From that moment, Ahmed made it his mission to share his story, to narrate the modern miracle of Surah Al-Kawthar. He began a YouTube channel, speaking to young Muslims who struggled with anxiety, betrayal, or loneliness. He shared the vivid dreams, the whispers, the terror of facing his inner darkness, and the ultimate peace found in reciting the surah. He urged viewers to not underestimate the power of even 3 short verses, reminding them that Surah Al-Kawthar had saved him, transformed him, and could transform anyone who approached it with sincerity. By the end of the year, Ahmed's life was unrecognizable to his former self. Old debts were resolved, relationships healed, and a deep spiritual richness filled every corner of his existence. Yet, the true transformation was invisible to the eye. A heart no longer paralyzed by fear, a soul attuned to Allah, a mind at peace with the trials of the world. He often reflected, the surah had done more than bring him blessings. It had brought him back to Allah, closer than he had ever been. And Ahmed knew one undeniable truth. The power of the Quran is timeless. Surah Al-Kawthar is not just a message to the Prophet. It is a living promise for all who feel lost, alone, or persecuted. It is a shield against the whispering of enemies, a balm for the wounded heart, and a key to unlocking mercy and abundance in all forms. So, for anyone watching this story, remember, if your life feels trapped in darkness, if the world seems cruel, and if fear gnaws at your heart, turn to Surah Al-Kawthar. Recite it, reflect on it, and live it. Let it guide you to peace, abundance, and Allah's mercy. The enemies of your soul, seen and unseen, will be cut off, and the light of Al-Kawthar will shine through the shadows, transforming your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. Ahmed's journey was proof that the shortest chapter in the Quran could bring the most profound change. And today, his story stands as a testament. When despair knocks, when enemies plot, when hearts tremble, recite Surah Al-Kawthar. Your miracle, your abundance, your peace is closer than you think. And indeed, we have granted you Al-Kawthar, so pray to your Lord and sacrifice. Indeed, your enemy is the one cut off. If Ahmed's journey touched your heart, share this video with someone struggling in life. Subscribe to Deeninminute for more real stories of hope, faith, and the miraculous power of the Quran. Remember, even 3 verses can change a life forever.